Hello everybody, I'm back here for you on this module 10. Um, I hope you're working well with your resource paper. You are at the stage of finding materials, sources for your research so that you can compile them together and then create this annotated bibliography. I just want to remind you it's due tomorrow. But I haven't heard back from you as much as I wanted so that I could help you in guiding you. Our last week, I talked about the concept of research, what research actually is, and how research is different than other forms of writing, what makes research research. So please go over the materials and remind yourself whenever you're writing your paper or whenever you're conducting your research work, because the essence of your work should be guided by the right and appropriate understanding of what makes your work a research. Basically, what we talked about was how your research needs to see the difference. Your work needs to see the difference between existing knowledge and new knowledge, and it should be striving to find some kind of new knowledge in your work. And that should start with a research question. So your topic should be such that you know a lot about and you want to know more about it. And also keep in mind that research is discipline specific, so you would want to keep in mind your audience, how your audience is formed and what they expect, so that you meet their expectations and so that your research community or the people who you are addressing to would be informed of or would be challenged by your findings. So work on that and find your sources accordingly. We also talked about primary sources and secondary sources. I have actually put the primary and secondary sources materials here again for you this week so that we understand how primary and secondary sources connect to research methodologies. What primary sources based research methodology is, what they entail, and then what secondary sources research methodology entails, and how they are different. Any questions you have, please let me know. I'll be very happy to respond to you. I also invited you to have a Zoom conversation. So we could, you could ask me questions and I could answer your questions if you have any. Or I could explain to you some of the concepts that I believe need to be worked on. So we need to see where we are working on and how we can monitor ourselves in the research process. Basically, understanding the stages of research process. So it started with the topic, and now I have reviewed the topics and I've given you feedback. And now the second stage we have is finding sources for your topic, on a topic, and narrowing down a topic. Because sources help you in narrowing down a topic, your topic helps you in finding sources. So they are actually mutually inclusive. So one helping the other. And after you have the sources, your topics get more consolidated. In the graduate level, we expect that you have the academic expertise, you have the professional expertise in conducting your research and understanding the process of research. Last week, we focused mainly on understanding the difference between primary and secondary sources because you are working on your annotated bibliography. So you need to find the appropriate sources for you, selecting the authentic sources for your research. So I hope you understand the difference between the primary and secondary sources, which also means primary and secondary methods of research. Primary methods of research basically are observation, interviews, case studies, surveys, and so on. The methods that you apply on your own as a researcher. And the secondary sources are basically you're gathering information from others' researches that have been conducted by other researchers. And you'll be borrowing the information from journals or magazines or any relevant materials that you consider would be authentic enough for making a part of a research. So please go over the materials of the last week. Now this week, I want to remind you one more time, your annotated bibliography is due. Please work on that. It needs to be formatted well. And I'll tell you one more thing. Research is not something totally creative for you at this stage, especially because at the point of finding sources and then creating this list of sources is very much conventional. Follow the convention, see how they are done. Try to find the examples, the samples of annotated bibliography, and then format it exactly the way they need to be. Because I know you're using APA, so follow the APA guidelines. The first part of your annotated bibliography would be the way you want to cite. The citation should be on the top. Cite it. If it is a journal, cite it as a journal. If it is a magazine, cite it as a magazine, or whatever material that you are bringing as a part of your sources. And then after that, you can split into 2 paragraphs, or you can put as 1 paragraph, but doesn't matter. But you have to have the first part should be the summary of the research work, the summary of the source. And then the second part would be partly an analysis and partly a kind of recommendation or evaluation and recommendation for another researcher or for any other person who reads that annotated list of sources to find whether those sources are appropriate for them or not. So you won't want to give your opinion about the sources. What I plan to do is that once you submit your annotated bibliography, I'm going to go over them, give you feedback on them, and I'm going to compile them all together. And then I'm going to just make it available for all of you, all 4 of you in our class, for you to go and see what your classmates have done. If any of them is useful, you can pick them to be as a part of your research paper, to use it as a part of a research paper. So instead of having to go over the original research paper or original article, you can get to know what the article contains and whether that article or whether that source is useful for your research or not. So it's basically you're helping yourself and you're helping whoever or whosoever reads that. So it's a kind of combined effort. Our class, we should consider our class to be a family where we work to help each other. So remember, it's due by Friday 18. Please compile a work and upload it on the annotated bibliography Blackboard shell. If you need help, please let me know. I will be available to help you on Zoom or write back and forth or whichever way you want. Or you want to come to my office. My office hours are 12 to 2 on Friday. We can meet on Friday. I believe you've gone over the list of materials I have posted for this week in the content in the Blackboard shell, the stages of research. So we should always remind ourselves as much as possible about the research steps, the steps of research, and we need to very much understand where we stand as a researcher, at what stage we stand as a researcher. So at this stage, we are trying to find sources and trying to create a list of the sources. So, and also trying to establish and consolidate our research topic. So these links are very helpful to you. So please go over the links. You also have a template for annotated bibliography, which should help you in formatting your annotated bibliography. Annotated bibliography is a very traditional assignment, a very conventional assignment. You follow the conventions, cite correctly and appropriately, and summarize and comment on the source very economically, precisely, concisely. I have posted a few videos, YouTube videos for you. I like this one. This is my favorite. It's very simple. And actually, it's a very good idea to learn from simple examples. The YouTube video that is titled is How to Develop a Good Research Topic. It gives you the criteria, it shows you the criteria that can help you narrow down your topic. You might consider the topic to be pretty much narrow, but you need to understand that that can be made much narrower than you can imagine. It's very important to ask questions such as why, how, and where with our research topic. This video brings up the topic on gorillas, the effects of deforestation on gorillas in Africa. This topic sounds very narrow enough, but we can see how it can be made further narrow to make it more specific. And that can be done by bringing a biological context, a historical context, and a geographical context. And we can look how the topic can be narrower than before. And finally, after those contexts have been applied, the topic ends up becoming current effects of deforestation on mountain gorillas in southwest Uganda, which includes historical context, geographical context, and biological context. You can translate similar kind of parameters in narrowing your topic as well. Another handout I have posted for you, actually the link to the handout I posted for you is on media literacy on or fake news, basically for you to be able to find authentic materials from those that may not be authentic. It's very easy, or it's very natural to be confused when you look for sources online. If you go to the library website, you might be able to find very authentic sources, much more authentic or much more reliable. But if you go free online, Google, and try to find materials, then it includes a lot of fake news. So you should be able to see and filter which one is fake and which one is correct. So we have to have certain parameters in checking whether they are correct or fake. And this lists you the different types of materials that can mislead you, and how to make sure that you do not get misled, and how to evaluate the different types of materials. In this respect, we regard scholarly journals that are discipline specific and that are peer reviewed, to be very authentic, or the most authentic. Now, even journals could mislead sometimes. So we have videos and we have materials here which will help you in understanding how to evaluate those materials. And there is such a thing as CAARP test. And I believe you understand what CAARP means. So this CAARP means currency, authority, accuracy, relevance, and purpose. Currency means how current the material is, how when the material was published, because current materials or newly published materials have most updated information. They are at the frontier of knowledge. They explore the new knowledge. Authority means how authentic those materials are, who published them, the publisher, or the credentials of the author or the authors, whether that material has been peer-reviewed or not. So based on those parameters, you can judge whether that material is authentic or not. And accuracy is also, you can fact check and see whether or not the information given in that material is accurate. And accordingly, you can decide whether that material is worth incorporating or not. And relevance is whether that material is relevant to the research you are conducting. So if it is relevant, you will use it. If it is not relevant, then you do not want to use it. You must make sure that that particular material is relevant to the research question or to the related other materials you have used or the arguments you are making in your research. And that's what R means. And now P means purpose. The purpose of your research and the purpose of the material that you are incorporating in a research. So whether or not the purpose of research meets with the purpose of the material that you are incorporating in a research, they must meet, because you don't want to bring any material that does not have what you are looking for, or does not satiate or fulfill the purpose of your research. So make sure this CAARP are met. So please watch this video. It further explains to you and it consolidates in you the knowledge about authenticating or finding the correct source in the research. So please watch this video. I like this video a lot. That's titled Evaluating Journal Articles with the CAARP Test by Melissa Mellon. This video explains to you about the currency, authority, accuracy, relevance, and purpose with solid, good examples, very visual examples. And thanks a lot for your time and for your patience. I believe I have made things clear to you. Once again, I want to remind you your annotated bibliography is due by Friday, October the 18th. If you need any help with your annotated bibliography, please let me know. And we also are going to have a Zoom meeting on Friday evening at 6 o'clock. I have emailed you this, so if you have another time that you would like to meet with me, let me know. I will try my best to work with that. But I have one student who wanted to meet at 6 o'clock, and I have not gotten any response from any other student so far. So that way we are meeting at the time. Anyway, well, I wish you all the best and see you in the next video. You have a wonderful day.